Hello lovelies, welcome. My name's Bryony and I do cruelty-free and vegan makeup reviews and tutorials on this channel. What you're here to see today is how to create this very 2000s makeup look. We're mostly focusing on the eyebrows, the eyes, the lips and the cheeks. We're not worrying too much about the base. I will cover that down below if you're interested. But everything that we use today is cruelty-free and vegan and not owned by parent companies that test on animals. But we've been inspired by the Queen, Britney. She had so many incredible looks in the 2000s, so I'm going to be doing a couple more looks inspired by her, but this was a very popular look that was used all throughout summer. Everyone that was popular wore this makeup look and it looks stunning. Even after you've worn it for hours and hours and like you're sweaty, still looks great. So let's just get straight into the tutorial right now. Also, like only 5% of the people that watch my videos are subscribed, so please do subscribe down below. It really does help me out, and don't forget to hit that like button as well. So we've got the base done. Now you don't need to have such a matte base right now, you just need to have a full coverage base because this is sort of like a sultry look. So these are all of the products that I use. I will also link everything down below for you, including what I've got on my eyes and everything else as well. To create this sultry look, I'm using both of these palettes. So we've got the Colourpop Double Entendre palette and also the Nabla Dreamy Cosmetics palette. However, there are so many different palettes out there that you can use to create this look, and I'm looking into actually getting some of them as well. So I might do a different version of this, but with more green beauty ones as well. I forgot something which they always forgot in the early 2000s, which was about eyebrows. I will still fill in my eyebrows with Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. However, you can just go with your natural eyebrows because it was so rare that people actually did anything. I will just say please do not pluck them, like heaps, in order to get that truly authentic look, because that's just terrifying. All I'm going to do with this is keep everything very natural, very light, because even if you look at pictures of Britney now, because we all follow her on Instagram because she's the queen of Instagram, she doesn't really do much with her eyebrows. And Jessica Simpson didn't do much either, like back in the day. It was just a thing to not do your eyebrows. Basically, you just had like these little wisps of hair above your eyes, and that was literally it. Just because we're doing makeup inspired by that time doesn't mean that we need to fall folly to that. So you can see like this is pretty natural looking. I do have quite sparse brows, so I do have to fill them in. Now getting on to the eyeshadows, so I'm going to be taking this shade. Any sort of like warm shade you can use, just on a big fluffy brush. This one is Blending Bestie. You just go all up in the crease. And don't worry too much about angling things up heaps. If that suits your eye shape better, go for it. But that wasn't necessarily like heaps of a thing, because you kind of wanted to create a more oval shape with your eyes. And all you're doing is putting this in the crease using small circular motions. So I'm taking my Miss Shady Lady brush and I'm going to go in with, what's this shade? This one's called Extracurricular, which is a very problematic term, I'm just saying, because then that implies school kids. And you're going in the crease with this shade. You do want things to be like very blended, sultry looking. So literally all you need to do is just keep on blending those two colours together, but making sure to keep this one in the crease. Oh my god, my eye's been watering and it's taken away some of that base that I set down. That is very annoying. I really want to use Byzantine. Like, I just love this shade so very much. So this is using the Nabla Dreamy palette. A regular flat top brush, but it's not one of the ones that you use for shading. Like, it's not a flat shader brush. Still fluffy, but it's got a flat top. Wow, that was a long way to try and say that. We're just covering all of the lid with this. Now, it was quite common to have all shimmers back then. We don't need to do that. We're just modernizing this sultry look. And now we get onto the smudging part. You can do this before you apply the eyeshadow or after, like me. But I'm just taking my Thrive Cosmetics Infinity Waterproof Eyeliner. And you just kind of drag a very loose sort of shape along here. As long as you're going along that line, it doesn't really matter how neat and tidy you are because you're smudging it. And remember to go down to the outer corner as well. Depending on how sultry you want to make this look, you can actually bring it all the way to the inner tear duct. However, for my eye shape, I always get a very weird bleeding effect when I do that, so I'm actually not going to do that. And then all I'm doing is I'm using the smudging tool to sort of smudge this out a bit. And then you have a nice smudged out line. Then going back in with the double entendre palette, I'm going to be taking this darker shade down here, which is Keep It PG, and just smudging on top of that dark liner that we put down. So in this way, you're creating some warmth and that wonderful sultriness. This is where you can get a bit contentious because they would always have shimmer actually going down there, and I'm trying to find the darkest shimmer shade, which is this one, which is Naked. So I'm just going to take a bit of this and apply this just above that. Oh. Try not to take all of that shading out that we just spent all that time doing. Back in with a little bit of that brown on top, and then you have this much more multi-dimensional look going on. You can of course layer a bit more black eyeliner on that if you want to. What was really big back then was having like the big eyeshadow underneath the eye, which is still kind of a thing now, which I'm glad about because I love it. It always makes your eyes look really big and just super sultry. So we're going back in with that original shade that we used, and we just go all under the waterline. You can see I'm not being too precise and neat and tidy with this, but we are taking it quite far down. Then we're going with a Miss Shady Lady brush. We're gonna again take this colour, Extracurricular. I literally just patted this all underneath the waterline, taking it all the way in because that was the look. And then we take our eyeliner again. Now this is where you also tightline your eyes. So that means that you take this underneath your waterline up at the top, then taking this along the lower lash line, and we're going into about halfway. And then you kind of join it up and you can line in your waterline in this bit. You can take this all the way in, and then with this you smudge it underneath your lower lash line. For a highlight, I'm taking a very shimmery shade, and I'm using this one, which is called Teddy Bear. But any sort of light champagne, very shimmery shade will work. I'm using a very small brush for this. Just go in your waterline, and then one of the things that we used to do was drag it along that little bit down here, just by your tear duct, and then also up underneath the brow bone. Now once again, I'm just going to take a dark shade, which was the same dark shade that we used before, just packing this over the top of that black. However, I'm going to try and stay a bit more true to form because they did use shimmers under the eyes as well. So I'm going back in with that dark shade that we did up above, which is this one just here, Naked, and I'm just literally going to pat that. And then you've created the full sultry eye look. So I'm going to complete the other eye, and we'll put on some mascara and do the rest of the face. Now I know spider lashes were still very much a thing. They were very in. My god, I can't believe I'm having to do this with like such a small mirror. Anyway, this is my Thrive Cosmetics mascara. I love it, it's incredible. Used to be the thing because we didn't wear false lashes every day or anything like that. Was literally just coating your lashes with about 7 layers of mascara and looking like awfully clumpy. Now, we're not gonna do that because we are updating this look so you can still wear it. Basically, we're rectifying your childhood right now. You're welcome. Now, you used to use bronzer with this, however, I've got more of these tones because I'm more of a contour. I'm just saying, I'm just more of a contour person. So these are from Nabla. I'm literally just going to frame the face with this. Now, one thing that would work really well for a look like this would be if you have those stick ones. You know, like how Milk has those like cream products. Like using that instead would actually work so well with this and framing your face with that, because then that would really add to the whole dewy effect look. Well, was it dewy or was it just sweaty? I mean, let's be real, because like your whole face, the point of having makeup like this was the fact that you could wear it to parties and then still look good at 4 in the morning, because this looks like you've been wearing it for ages anyway, but in like a hot way. Now, blush was still in. So for this look, it was definitely more like peach and apricot blushes. That was the thing. There's this one which is Enchanted Mirror, which does have a bit of a flick of sparkles to it. Blush was still fairly heavy. So I'm literally just gonna apply this to the apples of my cheeks. Because it's like you want it to look hot and grown up, but still have a glow, like a youthful glow. It's weird. But shimmery blushes were definitely in. Because we didn't have highlight back then. We will add highlight to this look, but we didn't have highlight. So you had a shimmery blush, and that was what you did in summer. So I do still want to add some highlight to this because again, this is 2020s and we glow these days. So I'm just gonna take my Mr. Handyman brush from MOTD. Gonna lightly dust this above your brow, basically just having like that shiny sort of lived in look. Now lips. So lips either came in like very light shades, like literally it would be like this sort of shade, or you had apricot lips, or you still did have some brown lips peeking through and almost like a reddy tone. So you do have a lot of wiggle room with this. I know that Britney in particular still really loved to have like a bunch of gloss on. Jessica Simpson a little bit later on, it was just gloss. Line our lips. I know it wasn't often done back then. We're modernizing. This is the shade Skimpy from Colourpop. Just fill in your whole lip with this. Or if you have a brown lip liner and then you just use like a lip gloss, you'll be sorted. This is the shade Slacker. It's a lippy sticks from Colourpop and it's kind of got like a shiny finish. So you can wear just this or wear something that's got some glitter in it. But that the way it is kind of perfect. The shade Bobbity. I don't know if this is still at Colourpop because they kind of have a look and then they don't have a look like 2 weeks later. So I don't know if this is still in production anymore because it was part of their Disney collection, but just any apricot sort of lip gloss and you'll be set. Because back then it was definitely around like having the wet look lip and juicy tubes and all of that good stuff. To lock this look in, obviously I would definitely recommend Cover FX High Performance Setting Spray. I'm a bit bummed that I literally just did my lips because I don't really want to put this on top of my lip products, but we're all fools sometimes. Now this is the whole finished look, so I just really quickly curled my hair. If I had like second day hair or like some sort of like thing called time, I could have done a much more beachy wave look, but basically that's all you need to do, or sleep with your like plaits in or something and then you'll be so sorted. But yeah, this is the whole thing. Don't forget to subscribe. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this little trip down memory lane, or you know, the people that are way younger than me, welcome. This is the way that it used to be done. I'm gonna go have some tea and feel old now. So thanks again for watching and I'll see you all later. Bye!